Welcome to Our Energy Matters with Anthony Manna and Dina Marie.
Hello, Dina Marie. I'm glad
Hello,
to be
Anthony.
I'm glad to be with you again. This is our session number 18. We've been exchanging our journey, the process of our journey and or journeys, because we both have one, and spending some time thinking about topics that I never thought I would imagine myself wondering about. For example, chakras and energy, and what that all means in terms of survival, and not only survival, but also of just living a full, rich life. That's what I think when I think of your book, which I always want to show, of Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading. And then the rest of it is Learn How to Manifest Your Heartfelt Intentions. It's a newness to me in my way of grappling with who I am and what I want to be, who I want to be surrounded by, what it means to grow, and be honest with yourself. That's something that comes up a lot in your cases that you talk about in your book with people who come to you. I call them clients. You can call them friends. You can call them spirit seekers. Any number of ways, of thinking about what they come to you for. So that's been our joy.
Well, and most of them came to me because they had eating issues or smoking. They didn't come to me because they wanted to clean out their closets in their mind. They came because they thought that they were overweight, or a spouse said, you have to quit smoking. So it was kind of strange because I was doing hypnotherapy with them. And then I started adding the chakra readings, and then they got better. Yeah. Much quicker, because with the hypnotherapy, you have to go back over and over and over again. And it's a lot of work. But with the chakra readings, just with the combinations, I could see that maybe as a child, they couldn't express themselves. And maybe that's where the oral fixation came from, the overeating. And so we would do things like letter writing and burning. They would sing karaoke, whatever they could to get that throat chakra open, tell me how they feel about something from their childhood. And those are the prescriptions, right? And they would go home and do their homework. And it was playful at first because it was just a child's game. And I put my rocks in my office and everybody wanted to play the rock game. And I was in a spa. So all the women on break would come up and get their chakra readings, their rock readings.
Yeah. And, yeah. And that's all over your book. I mean, it's so good to that. It's so, especially the crystals. And that's what I want to focus on today a little bit in our brief time that we have. I ask our viewers to follow me as I leave behind the trashed realm of septic anger, rankled greed, embittered terror, rancid resentment, a festering network of disregard and exclusion, and all the other corrosive human temperaments sustained by unhappiness, loneliness, fear, or despondency. Now that sounds super heavy, but not really, because so many people, as I see, who came to you for help were in that state of being divorced from themselves. I say move beyond, and again, beyond. Move beyond the rough-edged barriers, the prison of poisoned self-disregard, or is that self-hatred? Find the spirit of relief in Dina Marie's domain, dazzled bright by soul search seekers who move into her lush landscape, her honored book, as I just said, Our Energy Matters, The Art of Crystal Reading, where spirit seekers wander through those pages, guided by Dina Marie's, well, I call her Lady Grace. Lady Grace's curative, true truth of a selfhood so completely psyched to learn how to manifest their heartfelt intentions. Call it a book pulsating with the promise of dazzling enlightenment via the manifestations of hope, healing, renewal, and recovery, fashioned, shaped, and ordered by the alchemy of Lady Grace's humbled and seasoned sense of unburdening the heart, soul, spirit, mind of those drawn to her to fathom their truth, their presence, their yearnings, by connecting to prayerful attention to mind-body revelations, sponsored by Uncovering Chakra Truths. We just talked about that. And this part, which I want to ask you about today, illuminating crystal colors. That was such a revelation to me. So let's explore the truth you seek to unveil with the, I call them sacrosanct crystals, your clients choose. You are adept of what you call crystal reading. What is crystal reading?
Well, I used to go to bookstores and I'd pick out a rock. And every time I got a book, it would be on something like chakras or energy work, and then I take my kids and we'd go to the park and I would read my book and I'd have my rock in my car. So I left my rocks that I would get from these bookstores in the ashtray of my car because I didn't smoke. And then we'd go places and pretty soon the kids would pick a rock and it'd be their favorite rock. For instance, my daughter loved rose quartz. Rose quartz is about your heart. It's about femininity. It's about being a giver, you know? And so I thought that was pretty fascinating because then my other daughter, she would pick amethyst and tiger's eye. She's an Aries and she's a bully. and fire, you know, fiery. But the tiger's eye is like a go get 'em. It's like the Rocky Stone, like da da da. And then amethyst, she's super intuitive. I mean, this girl, she's just really, really, she knows things that she shouldn't know. But I thought it was really interesting. And my son always liked the darker colors. So each rock at that time had a meaning to it. So amethyst is for intuition, rose quartz for your heart, power chakra, which is your solar plexus, is tiger's eye. So when I started the readings, it was just kids picking one rock. And then I would talk to them about it. Like if they like turquoise, I said, maybe you need something to get it off your chest and talk to me about something. And they had throat issues. So the little girl would talk to me and the throat issue would go away because she just needed someone to talk to. And that's how it started. But then when I learned the chakras, then I added 7 rocks. And by then I had hundreds of stones, put them in a big basket in my office. And then people started picking 7. But I would lay them on the table and no one knew I was doing chakra readings. They just thought I was a psychic. So I started doing it with crayons. You could do it with colors. But as soon as you put the rainbow down, then the kids would match the rocks that they chose to the colors. And then after that, I would find the rocks they were missing and give them homework. Then as a hypnotherapist, I did it with adults. And it was amazing. But it was really the meanings of the rocks at first. And then I lost sight of that and just went with the colors. So the healing properties of a stone, for instance, I'm wearing this. It's a druzy and it helps me stay grounded because I like to be in my head. You'll see me wear rose quartz to remind myself to love me. If you ever see me wear a tiger's eye, I'm probably mad at someone, which I really don't wear because I don't want to be mad at anyone. But yeah, the rocks are basically more of the colors and not the properties. But when I started, it was the properties. And that's in the book that, you know, the meanings of the crystals.
Yes, of course. It's almost prescriptive. I mean, you know, it illuminates so much. I mean, even the back cover there with you place your crystals on your corresponding colors is very, very enticing and very doable. You know, I mean, it's like it's not esoteric or, you know, far out mystical, but it does and have its own kind of mysticism in a sense, because you're using intuition in a grand gesture to understand what this all means.
Well, and you and I always have our conversation before we do our Zoom. And today you said that you had the news on. It wasn't like you turned it on, but it was on. And you watched people. And you said after watching them being angry and all these things on the news, you said they sounded like they were out of sync. And that is what this is all about. So when you're in sync, your chakras are spinning evenly. But for instance, if you had your walk this morning and you walked through you probably were in sync. You walk by the television, all of a sudden you've seen things you don't want to see. Now your heart hurts and you're shoving all your energy so that you don't get sad or mad yourself below your heart chakra, which is that solar plexus. And that's what makes people angry, is when they've lost inspiration. They can't see what's going on around them. They don't talk about it. They're unintuitive and they're doing dumb things. Because when you're unintuitive, you do dumb things. And if your heart's blocked, you're doing things for yourself, what you can get out of it, what you can manifest physically so everyone can see your stuff, right? But when your chakras are spinning, it's you and I having a lovely conversation. It'd be even nicer if you and I were walking in the woods somewhere and the sun was shining, but we would be in sync. And synchronicities are winks from God when you're in sync. So if you're not getting synchronicities, which is playful coincidences that are kind of leading the way, you need to tune up your chakras. So when you and I go out in the woods or we meditate or we have our conversations, our days go better. If you spend a lifetime with blocked chakras, we're creating chaos. It's not manifesting heaven on earth whatsoever. So we came here to do that. And that's why I love teaching or helping people understand their energy, because our energy matters. It really does, for everyone to see.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I think that what's also so intriguing about this is the fact that you explore cases in your book, you know, and excuse me, and I talked to you about your son's friend stifled by the lack of baseball confidence. I want people to hear that. I want our viewers to hear that, because it's so down to earth.
And that's the stone I gave him, was a tiger's eye. It was like the Rocky stone, but he carried it like a good luck charm, because every time it was time for him to hit the ball, he would say, I can't do it. I'm dumb. I can't play. He was talking to himself horrifically. So when you do that, that closes you down. And when it comes to actually hitting the ball, your mind and your body are not connected. So I can't tell you how many people that I've had say nicer things. I hit the ball every time. I can do this. And just changing their tune and carrying that rock with them. He did hit the ball. And then when somebody got it, he didn't run because he didn't know what to do. He never hit the ball. And he got out by my son. But the next time he played, he got better and better, because we changed the things that were going on inside his higher chakras, which is when we worry or we talk bad about ourselves or just constant chatter. When you are quiet and you get a small, still voice and it tells you to make a phone call and you do it, that's how we change the world. But we're not going to get any of that if we're talking trash to ourselves all day long. And then we're getting it on the television or reading it in the news. It's so important that we find time to be quiet, connect with our higher self or whatever you want to call it, and then get direction. And that's all he did. And he got better and better. In fact, he kind of got too good. And then his power chakra got too big and he thought he was hot stuff. But you know, it's all good. It's called balance.
It's all good. And it's all balance. And then I think I keep thinking about the times when, as a writer, my voice, that voice is telling me that I'm not doing this correctly. It's too much of a burden. I don't, why am I struggling like this? Why, you know, and then all I need to do is to meditate, just to empower myself with my energy, go for a walk, do my power walk in the woods, you know, listen to some sensitive music. But see, all of this is in your book because you do the prescriptions. You say, you know, write a letter to yourself, you know, perform in front of your TV, in front of your computer screen. I mean, you know, whatever it is we need to bring us back to our energy.
Yes.
And I think,
and some of them are super easy too. But if you don't take the time to bring spirit to the table. We are in a physical body, and yet we go to the gym every day. If we're not finding any joy, we're not having any guidance by something higher than ourselves, we usually get to a certain age and we're so unhappy because we haven't been living in flow. And I've been where you're at before, where we have a deadline. I hate that word. I don't like to use deadline, but the word force, right? Because I'm doing something, even if I get it down on the computer to send to somebody, it gets deleted. It doesn't get, if something bad happens, if I'm forcing me to be creative, but if I step away from the computer, go play on the beach for 20 minutes, I come back and maybe it's already written for me and somebody sent, I don't know, it's just more magical. And that's where spirit's driving. But if I'm physically trying to get things done, it's painful. I don't like it. Do you?
No, not at all. I mean, I think that it's the releasing myself into the power of it, you know, and just saying that I'm here now. I'm right here now, and this is where I need to be. And however, I'm not going to punish myself because I can't write as fast as I used to or something like that. You know, it's just really coming to grips with my chakras, basically. You know,
and living in flow. And I've had 2 days off to where I said to myself, I'm only going to do the things that I want to do. I have gotten more done, things I didn't even think would get done. And I just did something like on Facebook to promote my new business, and my cards, knock, 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 right there. I mean, they got sent to the wrong place and everything, but right that moment when I needed a little thing to share, it showed up, and it was much more playful and a lot more fun than, I don't even post anything unless it feels good. If it doesn't, it's God fabricated. It's force versus flow. And I think when your chakras are spinning and you're connected to something higher than yourself, you're in the present moment, you're listening to your inner voice, the nice one, and you put your heart and soul into it, and you physically get out of your body and you go out and work with other people, you manifest something, but it's so much more fun. And I have the guys I work with calling everything, let's get the party started now. And they just love it. So they're so cute. I mean, they're having more fun than physically doing the job because we're getting the party started.
Perfect. You know, in your book, you make a spellbinding promise to your readers, and better said, your seekers. You write, as you make your way through this book, I will help you to understand the chakras, colors, crystals, numerology, mind-body connection, and most importantly, your intuition. And so, I said, color, crystal, chakra, the bond. Let's explore this deeply profound link in our next episode.
Yay.
Yeah, I really want to hold on to that because I think for a while there, I was like not seeing the chakra color, chakra crystal, and I think I'll ask you to do that, to illuminate us a little bit of what that means to you the next time we meet. But each time, so much to learn. And
I love the word illumination. I really do.
Yeah, it's become one of my favorite words.
Well, I look forward to doing Our Energy Matters with you again next week. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Goodbye, folks. And thank you so much to be
Bye-bye.
Dina Marie and Anthony. Thank you. Bye-bye.